Well, Darren, next game away at Dagenham. They've got a good record at home, but you've got a very good defensive record. It's making for quite an interesting match.
Yeah, no, they're all. You never know really which way these games are going to turn in these divisions. And I say these divisions, I mean all the way up into the Championship. Really, we all say the same thing. You can never really forecast the performance levels and the outcome of games, but no, they've done very well this year. I think last year I backed them quite heavily last year, and Darren had quite a lot of problems with injuries, and they finished strong. So yeah, no, tough game.
And how good is it to have your captain back? We just spoke to him. He's going to make a real difference going forward, isn't he, having him back in the side?
Well, we conceded a goal Saturday with him, so I wasn't very pleased about that. I wasn't very pleased with the way he handled that moment either. But no, I thought Luke's qualities came about when we did concede the goal. Just that reassurance, people can look to him and Josh and Dale in that way and find reassurance and a little bit of comfort. I would have thought of we'll follow them, and they're very good at that, the three of them. And look, Luke's winning record for us this season speaks for itself. I think he's started 5 games, we won 4 of them. So he's a big player for us.
And you brought Wakefield, Knowles and Worthington off with slight niggles. How are they doing this week?
No, they're all fine.
They're all fine.
All fine.
Well, that's good. Ahead of you must be thinking that the injuries of last season are behind you, and you've had quite a good record. Only Mitch Rose is out. Is that right?
Well, obviously Reedy and Mark and Mitch, yeah, definitely. But Mitch is close, very close. So we need to sit down with Mitch and see where that goes from here. But we'd love to have him. But no, the squad's getting stronger again. The young players come through a difficult October. I think we saw the benefits of that, of those difficulties they went through with the performance at Sarll, and I think things have grown and grown. Now we're in really good form. We're in the best form we've been in all season. It coincides with players getting back. It coincides with time on the pitch with these young players. And it's been a enjoyable month so far.
And as you say, a beaten in 5. Is that reflected in what you're seeing in training, the confidence that the players have?
Yeah, absolutely. They're brilliant to work. I've always said they're brilliant to work with this group. Absolutely fantastic, and that's because they're the youngest group. 23 years old on average, including Little and Reed and all of them. I mean, it's so when they come to training, they want to improve and they want to learn and they want to prepare to win, and they want to be in the side because every other club they've been at, they've probably been the other team helping the first team prepare. So there's a natural exuberance to them, but they're fantastic to work with. Training has been wonderful all year, but since we've kind of settled on a way after as we went through October, no, they've done very well. They were very enjoyable to work with.
Do you now have a challenge selection-wise, as you said to me afterwards, and we all saw it, how good Joe Quigley was when he came on? Yeah. Is that giving you a bit of a headache for the starting 11?
Well, Addy came into the team a while back because of a performance in training. And, this is the benefit that we have over the supporters, obviously, is that we see them 4 times more than they do in the week leading up to the game. And sometimes you just get a sniff, an intuition that you might need to change something, or you might need to use someone in a different way. So I think Joe did very well. I think Addy's doing great. And that neither of that's really important because the challenge of Dagenham is completely different to the challenge of Eastleigh, and we have to pick the team that best befits the challenge. And they're a very experienced adolescent side, and we need to make sure that we have the right qualities in the side to go and play and make it a good game. I mean, I think away from home we've been excellent, really excellent.
And lastly, we now know that Stevenage will visit Hewish Park for the FA Cup second round. Your former team, Luke Wilkinson's former team. It's going to be quite an occasion.
Yeah, I went Tuesday night and to watch the game, and it was a very good game. It was nice to watch it as well because one of my very, very first mentoring coaching took the team as well for Stevenage. Robbie O'Keefe, he did a fabulous job. On very short notice, did a brilliant job. But he's a brilliant coach. and it was a real strange game. I mean, it became false very quickly because of the sending off, which was a horrendously bad decision by the official. And the game swung. It really did swing. And then Stevenage got very, very aggressive and very forthright in their play and very much deserved to win the game. And it's a weird one, really, that game. Obviously, because I worked there, I know so many people there. But I worked out, I think, if everyone plays, I could have 6 ex-apprentices over 2 teams on the pitch. And that will be weird. That will be very strange. So it could be Darren Sarll's youth team FA Cup round 2. So that will be very strange. But no, it's a good game for us, a really good game for us. I've spoken a lot about how difficult I always found coming to Hewish Park when I was manager of Stevenage. And you know, we need to make it a really difficult day for them, no doubt.
Thank you, Darren.
Tap.
Darren, when the FA Cup draw was made, given that you had a choice, would your choice have been Stevenage or not?
No, not necessarily. I'd not seen a great deal of MK Dons. Looking back on Tuesday when I got to the ground, I was surprised by MK Dons' selection, which has got nothing to do with me, but I was surprised by it. It was 6 changes from the game their league game before, where they comfortably beat Cambridge. And they made 6 changes. So whenever you do that, there's a reason why those 6 players didn't start the Saturday game. There's always a reason. So not necessarily. Stevenage were they've got some very good players. Again, loads of experience. Adam Smith's there now in goal. Jamie Reid, who was formerly a Torquay that we played against a couple of years ago, there and in form. Some very good players. And like I said, lots and lots of experience. So, whereas MK on the night were a little bit younger, a little bit more inexperienced, very capable technically, but you know, these big moments change games. These big decisions, these big actions from players, they change games. And we all know the emotion of the cup. We saw that last night in full view. And if you're not emotionally intelligent, you can cost your team dearly, very dearly. So, no, I was perfectly balanced with what I knew and what I didn't know. I know a lot about Stevenage for obvious reasons. And I didn't know a great deal about MK Dons.
And having seen Stevenage perform in an FA Cup tie at home, are you pleased that the game is here at Hewish Park?
Like I've just said to Sheridan, our away form's been very good. The pitch at Stevenage is really tight. It is. I've forgotten how compact it is. I sat in the stand and thought, I don't even remember it being this small. It always looked a little bit bigger down on the touchline, but very, very tight. So this being a bigger pitch will obviously have its advantages and disadvantages depending on who has the largest share of possession. But I always prefer to play here. And what we've got to make sure we do, we go there, we play that game in as good a form, league form as possible, because that has a massive bearing on your outlook and how you foresee the game and the plan around the game. So, these are going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game. There's no doubt about it. Whichever side we pulled out, it was going to be a tough game, and it will be the team that's again emotionally intelligent, organised, ready. Highly motivated, and the one thing I will back all the time with our group is that they'll be highly motivated.
I remember the first time I ever interviewed you was down at Dorchester, and you were right in the middle of trying to get a team together, let alone a squad. And we've gone on 2-3 years now, I suppose 2-3 years.
2.5.
Do you feel now that you've got the sort of squad that you really want? I mean, you seem to have got cover for the majority of positions.
How? How?
What?
We've got 15 outfield players.
Yeah.
We haven't got any cover. I wish I had more cover, Aid. No, the answer is always no. Even in year one squad was a ready-made winning team because of the individuals in it. This isn't ready-made in any way, shape or form, but even in year one, I wanted more. You can never be happy with your squad as a manager. You can never. So the answer is always no. It's not no because I want a different squad now. It's because I always want more, tools to our to help meet the needs of our winning and how long we win. We're still very much. I don't want to use the word bare bones, but we're still very much scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of quantity. Absolutely, we're just very pleased, proud in some respects of how we've improved some of the players in the time span we've had. I think this is going to be a second half of the season team, personally. Add Little, add Reed. Hopefully that big lump Wilkinson can play more than 5 games in a row. And if we're in and around that top half, I think we have a really good chance. I still think we can make those spots and compete. But it's a team that has to work with a process. It has to have a team. There's going to be so many more peaks and troughs, so many more runs of bad form, and hopefully even more runs of good form before this team settles in the second half of the season. But absolutely, we need more. I'd like more, but I would always like more. I mean, I've put my poor Scott. I put my requests in literally daily.
Yeah.
So it's something that I enjoy doing. It's a bit of torment for him, and it's something we have to do. I think it's what defines a coach from a manager, because lots of people can learn how to coach and put on coaching practices. I think it's very hard to learn how to be a football manager, and I think it's very hard to have the intuition that you can never ever be satisfied with the ingredients at your disposal. You've got to keep building and building.
Do you feel you've been unlucky with injuries throughout the season?
Always, but there's always a reason for that. There's a reason for the injuries that we've had. Especially last year. Last year's weird because after Lee passed, the players just getting out of their bed every day and playing football was good enough for me. Good enough, to kind of look them in the eye. So the fact they went out there and still took criticism and praise at times, was immensely proud of their spirit. But when you talk about injuries, there's a lot of luck involved. Of course there is. No one was near Mark Little when he rotated his foot and he snapped a ligament that contains the width of 2 bones in their foot. So that's luck.
Yeah.
But there's an infrastructure around injuries as well that needs to be in place in order to try and reduce them and try and prevent them. We're better at that now. We've made some changes. Our new physio's excellent. Brought in some brilliant protocols and principles to the week. Scott Wickham, our young sports scientist, has gone above and beyond, and he's learning. He's definitely learning. They're both definitely learning because they're young, but they've made a big difference. And then you get the timing of form. Wilkinson coming back. I think Ruben may train from Monday. I think maybe, which will be, it'll be magnificent for him because he turns up every game and you can see the torment and the frustration in his eyes. So imagine going into a game next week with Reed on the bench, and involved, massive, and then all of a sudden you've got Yusuf, Quigley, and Reed, and that's not the worst, definitely not the worst. And so the infrastructure's got stronger. We've tried to improve that this year from last year. Definitely. We've had to do that slowly. We've advertised for a physio, I would say, 10 times in 2.5 years. If we had 5 applicants, I'd be surprised. That's the truth. But we managed to source ourselves a brilliant relationship with a company in Bristol with Rayan Wilson called Back to Action, and a very reputable business that a lot of top players back, and we work with them very closely now on all our physio care. So we're trying within our means and our financial resource. We're trying to make it as professional and as robust as possible, but the infrastructure is the infrastructure. It's not for me to comment on.
How strong do you think Dagenham are going to be on Saturday? I mean, you going in there thinking we can beat these easily, or you?
No, we can beat these.
Yeah,
we can beat these. Definitely. I felt it before Stockport. I feel it before every game. I'm quite no one knows me. None of these supporters really know me. I'm a really positive, enthusiastic individual, and I take every fight on its own merit, and I believe we can win every fight. What's the point of turning up? So I believe in these young people. I believe in their ambition. I believe in where they are, and I believe in their progress. We're never going to win a game easily. There's no such thing. Yate wasn't easy. It started at 0-0, and at 1-0 it wasn't easy. At 2-0 it wasn't. 5-0 with 5 minutes to go. You kind of feel, well, okay, we might get through this one. But you never feel, as a manager, you never feel comfortable. I mean, the best one that I've seen is when Mourinho was 4-0 up and there was 20 minutes to go when he was first at Chelsea, and he turned around and he shook the hands of his staff. If I've done that twice in 250 games as a manager, I'll be very surprised. Very surprised. So I think once it's...
I'm glad you do that anyway, though.
Well, you do at times, because it's nice to feel like that. It's nice to feel like you won a game early rather than...
Is it not the temptation to them to think?
Well, they can't see. No, they can't see it, can they? But it's it's nice not to be clawing on. Like Morgan Williams' brilliant block with Gorman's block after that. I mean, it was 2 blocks. I didn't realise at the time, but Gorman got his massive backside in the way on the second block. It was a brilliant piece of defending. Grant Smith's save 1-on-1. So, all these things they do. You're like holding on for dear life, eh? So it is nice to not feel like that. Who would want to feel like that? I mean,
no, of course not.
So it's it is nice to get to, but you never win games easy. And Dagenham are strong. Like I said, last year I thought they were them and Stockport were the strongest recruiters in the division. And then we spoke about injuries. Darren had some, enormous bad luck with availability, which probably stunted their progress. And they finished strong and they've got pretty much the same group. They've added 1 or 2. They're still buying players. They still took Moraes from Kings Lynn. They still took a Canby from Aldershot. So they're still adding to their group, which is, a great problem for Darryl to have. Maybe one day, mate.
Well, best of luck Saturday anyway.
Thanks, mate.
Make sure you get 3 points.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Hey, Darren.
All right, mate. Yeah.
I know we touched on the bare bones of the squad, but just how crucial is it with 2 games coming up this week and heading into December and New Year that these players are coming back?
Massively important. But there's also a process to them coming back. Wilkinson did 180 minutes last week. That was quite strong to throw him into that. I wanted to take him off on an hour. And I said to him before the game, ironically, that if you could get your teammates to make sure we've won the game on 60 minutes, that would that'd really help me and you. And then he got to 60 minutes, and I just felt that the balance of play was still too tight, and we kept him on. It was a big risk, but he's come through the risk. But the 45 minutes leading up to that, playing at Larkhill on a really soft pitch, drains you. They're coming on cold at Yate, and him and Morgan Williams have been brilliant in covering the aggregate between them. So when Mark comes back, Mark's going to need time. He's going to need to build, and Ruben's going to need to build. But even when they come back on the training pitch, their input is fantastic. Even at games right now, Mark and Ruben are very vocal people. They don't wait to be invited to speak their mind. They speak their mind, which is a brilliant trait you get as an experienced player. But to have them coming back, Mitch Rosey would be huge for us. He'd be enormous for us because, the depth of our midfield three at the moment is the three midfield players that we've got. You know, so Alex Bradley would probably be used in more of a wider formation, a midfield formation, sorry. So, yeah, we are very, very short on that. We're trying to balance off getting a few of them games on loan because I don't want to stunt their progress. Like Toby, I think Toby will be out on loan very soon. And even though it leaves us short, I think it's the right thing to do for that young man and his career. And I don't want to get in anyone's way really with that. It would be very selfish of me to keep taking him up and down the country, sitting him on the bench, get 10 minutes here and there when he could play 90 minutes 5 times in a month. You know, he's almost covering a whole season's worth of games for us doing that. So there's lots of juggling to do, but having Ruben back next week will be massive. Having Mitch, if we can get Mitch back into the squad, would be enormous because he's such a good player.
And just looking at the goals scored in recent games, is it pleasing that there's a number of players chipping in with goals now?
They have to, because we haven't got that that really dominant, I don't really want to do anything else but score a goal, Reece Murphy type. Mark Richards was probably beyond that stage of his career when he came. So I'd say Reece was probably the stereotypical selfish so-and-so that just wanted to stand in the middle of the post, wait for the ball and tap it in. And we haven't got that. That's not what we've got. So everyone has to. It's obviously great to see Tom now rolling. Wakefield has scored more goals for us than all his teams combined in his whole career. So that's good for him. I think Worthington is on the verge of adding goals to his game. Gorman's a threat from providing as well as scoring. Wilkinson's probably the best attacker of the ball we have in terms of set plays. And Hunty and Staunton have got to probably do a bit better. So we have to. We have to, but it's, our play is generating more chances, our play is generating more penalty box entries, our play is generating more set plays in the final third. But it's all still built off of a defensive organisation, and that's still the most important thing, because if we're always in games, we'll always have a chance to win games.
And just finally, we spoke last week about the FA's investigation at Yates. Has there been any updates on that at all?
No, I don't think so. I still think they're fact-finding, really, between the FA and the police. I still think they're fact-finding together. So we obviously are open to heavily to supporting that and providing them with the individuals that have been affected. And yeah, we'll wait for that. But it's just, the game's going mad. The world's gone mad. It's just bonkers. So, yeah.